All right, so it's been a while since I made a video. Um, it's been a year now since I got the BMW, and I thought I'd do a little review on it. It's October now, and this summer was really bad in Japan. It was really, really hot, and I really didn't feel like riding much during the summer months. Not for pleasure anyway, just to commute to work every day. I still rode every day to work. It's a good commuter bike, as I said before, and I was commuting with it every day. And the hot weather doesn't have a negative effect on the bike or the battery. The fans do kick in once the temperature goes over 29 degrees. Right now it's 22 degrees, and it's completely fine now. It's perfect weather for riding. But in the summer, when the temperatures go above 30, yeah, it gets uncomfortable on a bike, and it's not much fun to ride. So really, I was only riding it to commute to work, and that was it. And then when I was coming home, I was putting the cover back on. Like the hot temperatures don't have a negative effect on the batteries. There's a big cooling fin, aluminum cooling fin underneath that keeps the batteries cool. But yeah, in winter, obviously, like the batteries, lithium-ion batteries, don't work so well. You lose range, but in summer you don't lose any range, which is nice. I know that heat can have like a permanent damaging effect on lithium-ion batteries, but the cold doesn't. It just reduces your range. But in spring and in summer, the range goes back up. So during the summer months, I only had to charge this bike every 2 weeks, which was really nice. But as I already said before, I only commute about 15 kilometers a day, which is about 7 or 8 miles a day. 4 miles one way, 4 miles the other. It's pretty close. It's a really short commute. So for that, this bike is perfect. I haven't had any loss in performance. The bike still accelerates the way it did on the first day. It is currently at 42%. Today is Saturday, and I rode the bike every day this past week, Monday to Friday, and I still have 40%. And that's always in dynamic mode too. So I never drop out of dynamic mode. So the bike has performed really, really well this whole time. Negatives. I got a new seat cover. This Mad Dog gear seat cover, which kind of looks good on the bike, and it fits the seat really well. It clips underneath here, and yeah, it's comfortable, and it stops you from sliding around, and it gives you a little bit of a boost as well, and it's soft as well, and it's padded. So this is better than what I was using before, and it looks nicer too. Yeah, I saw this on somebody else's bike, and then I took a picture and I looked it up. And this is made by Coleman, the camping company. So I was kind of surprised by that. I thought it would be like a bike company, but it's not. It's like Coleman. So yeah, if you need a cover for your seat, if you have a wide seat, you need a cover that gives you a little grip and a little lift, little something, some padding. Then yeah, this is good, and it's not expensive. I don't remember how much it was, like I don't know, like $30 or something. And other negatives, well, that's not a negative, but the negatives for the bike is the suspension squeaks a lot. I'm not sure why, but when I'm riding in the morning, when I leave the house in the morning and I start riding, I hear a lot of squeaking coming from the front suspension. Maybe that's normal. I don't really know. But it does it a lot, and this may be perfectly normal, and the only reason you're hearing it is because this bike is so quiet. Electric vehicles are quiet, so you hear noises that you didn't hear before. So that could be why you're hearing it, or why I'm hearing it. I don't know if anybody else hears those noises too. But yeah, this is kind of a new thing because bikes have always been noisy, and you never heard the creaks and the cracks and the groans And on this bike you do. Another thing you hear which is annoying is um, the plastic fairing here on the handlebars. Underneath it is just a regular handlebar that goes across, like any other bike. But they covered it up with this for design, and to make it look more futuristic. And it's basically one big piece of plastic here and then another one underneath. And you can kind of hear it when I tap it. It kind of creaks and cracks and makes a lot of noise from vibrations. And that can get annoying. So when I'm riding, sometimes I'll just put a hand on here to stop it from making all this noise, because it's kind of annoying. So in the future, I think what BMW should probably do is put some padding on the inside here. I may take it off because there's some bolts here you can undo. So this should come off, one big piece. Maybe put some padding on the handlebars and then put it back on, and hopefully that'll stop it from making all this annoying creaking noise. The screen I got has been fine. It hasn't had any issues, and it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. Tires have been okay. Got like a chunk of metal on the rear tire, but I took it out, and it's fine now. Yeah, the tread is still good. These are Diablo Rossos, which are performance tires, so yeah, they may not last very long if you ride a lot of miles every day. Let's see, what kind of range, not range, but mileage do I have? Let me have a quick look here. Now, how do I check how much I've done? I don't remember how to check. Yeah, I don't use any of the features on this bike at all. I don't use navigation. I don't use the music player, the media player. The reason I don't use navigation is because of the bike's range. You can't really go anywhere other than your usual daily commute or the area where you live. And you already know the area where you live, so you're not really going to need to use the navigation. You only need navigation when you're going somewhere you've never been before, right? If you're like doing some kind of a tour. And that's the thing. It's like you can't really go touring on a bike like this. It doesn't have the range for that. It only has 60 miles of range. And if charging infrastructure were good, I suppose you could go quite far on this bike. But unfortunately, where I live, it just isn't. It's just not good. This is super useful, by the way. That space, I use it every day to carry tons of stuff. So that's definitely a good thing. Storage is great. And you can add more on the back here with one of those boxes. But yeah, again, the range. If you drove an Eco, you'd get more range, but still, maximum, you'd get like 70 or 80 miles of range, max. And then you'd have to find somewhere to charge. And it's hard, and this bike doesn't have fast charging, and it takes like 2 hours to charge, right? It's just got level 2 charging here, and you're not going to get a lot of range with that, and you're going to have to wait like 2 hours to charge this bike up. So if you have to wait 2 hours, let's say you go somewhere, you do your 60 miles, you stop for lunch, and then you're waiting for like another hour before you get your range back. And then how many times can you do that in a day? Maybe twice at the most. So you're going to do like 60, charge for 2 hours, another 60 miles, charge for 2 more hours, and then that's like the end of the day. So it's not realistic, right? So you either give this bike more battery and more range, or you give it fast charging. All right, so like NACS, North American Charging Standard, that Tesla uses, that would fit nicely in here. DC is too big. It wouldn't fit in here. DC fast charging wouldn't fit here, but NACS would. So if you give this future bike NACS, it would be able to charge on the Tesla network, and you could basically have unlimited distance. The battery size is not the issue. It's the charging that's the issue here. I can't go anywhere with this bike because it doesn't have the range to go anywhere. So I just use it for commuting, and for that it's great. So I have no complaints at all. Now, I'm going to go for a ride. I need to go somewhere today, and the wind is probably going to make it difficult for me to talk, but I'll see what I can do. Bike still accelerates great. No loss in performance. Regenerative braking still works great. Yep. Turn signals, no problems. Yeah, you can see the regenerative charging here. That's been great. I did notice in the colder months, you do drop some there. It kind of turns yellow. Um, or when the battery is full, like after you've finished charging, you're 100%, and you go, when you try to use the regen, it kind of limits how much regen because the battery is already full, so it limits your regen. Combustion. I think I'm going the wrong way, but it doesn't matter really. Yeah, you can hear the rattling here. Bike still sounds great. You get all that wonderful motor and belt sound noise. The motor whine and the belt noise sounds good on this bike. No complaints about that. Even with that noise, the bike is still quiet. So yeah, like when I'm riding and I hear other bikes around me, they're so noisy. It's just like, oh my god, stop it! Like the bike I had before, the Ducati Diavel, that bike was super noisy, and to the point where I couldn't use it anymore because I was just so exhausted from the noise, and I had to like wear earplugs. So just I think for the track, weekend bikes, I think something like a combustion bike would be great, but for daily riding, it's pretty tiring to have a noisy bike. But if you don't modify the bike, it's boring to ride. You don't get any power if it's like you've got like a big exhaust, and like emissions rules are very strict here, so you can't really have an open exhaust here. Noise and emissions laws are strict, which is one of the main reasons why I decided to go for this. Performance-wise, this bike still takes off like a rocket, but it does drop performance around the So you do this performance around the mid-range. 0 to 60 kph or 0 to 30 miles per hour, it's lightning fast, but then up from there it just kind of like peaks and then it drops, which is fine. This is again a commuter, it's not really a track bike or anything like that. The Energicas and the Zero SRF, I'm sure, are much faster, and then they probably just keep going. When this bike peaks, those bikes keep going. Because I've ridden an SRF, but it just kept going, and it was like amazing. But I don't trust myself on those bikes because I'll just end up killing myself on it. I know I will. The fact that this one peaks is kind of nice because you can't go too fast. Again, speed is not the goal for this bike. The goal for this bike is comfortable, quick commuting. So if you can take off at the lights, like I do, while other people are going through their gears, I'm already at 60. Yeah, I mean, you can see, right? It's like I'm already at 60 and other people are still going into second gear or third gear. And that's where this bike excels. It excels at taking off quick, getting through traffic quick, and not getting stuck. This guy's making a left, so I just go whoosh, 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 and I'm there, right? This guy's going slow, I go around him, I go make a left here, then I go to where I'm going. Right? See how I can get through traffic fast? And that's where this bike excels. It excels at getting through traffic quick. It's a city bike. Jeep dealership here. I wonder how many they sell. You see a lot, actually. A lot of Jeeps around here always. Yeah, people in Japan do like camping here. It's a popular pastime here. So you do see a lot of people buying those cars for that, for their weekend camping. This is kind of interesting here. This person is driving a Volkswagen with a Japanese plate, but the Japanese plate is over the European plate, and it's GB, Great Britain, so it's a British plate. So I'm like, why do you have the British plate, the European plate? It's an EU plate, and then with the Japanese plate on top. It's a Volkswagen Tiguan or something. I don't know. Yeah, look, there's an electric bike. So the postal workers have started using electric bikes to deliver the post, which is good. We're starting to see a shift towards electrification in Japan. Those bikes are quiet, so they don't wake people up in the morning. I've seen them accelerate, and they're quick, and they're torquey. I don't know what the range is, but maybe I should ask him. Yeah, it's got an electric motor there, not a hub motor, just a regular motor. どのぐらい走れるんですか？80キロ80 kilometers. Not bad. これ120ぐらい。そうですね。はい。エンジンがなくて。モーター。This one is too. So yeah, 80 kilometers. They're all electric. Look at that. That's awesome. Yeah, the new Prius, nice looking car. Too bad it's not fully electric. 80 kilometers out of that battery is not bad at all. It's alright. Yeah, so slowly I'm seeing more and more EVs on the roads here, more Teslas, some Volkswagens, the ID4, a couple of Ionics. I know there's another Hyundai coming out soon, the cheaper car, forget what it's called. And that one is cheaper, so I think it's like 3 million starting price, something like that. So yeah, we're slowly but surely we're starting to shift towards, but not until nothing really is going to change until the Japanese makers make the change. So Toyota, Honda, Nissan, and then for the bikes, it's going to have to be Honda, Yamaha. Until they start changing, no one else will. And this is where I'm going today. A home center. Where the hell do I park? Okay. Reverse. Sometimes useful. Yeah, this